What's going on, folks? So the band Tales of Time are back with a new song here called The Journey. And apparently this is their first single off their upcoming debut EP. So I believe that all they've released so far has just been kind of individual songs, but they're going to be releasing a debut EP now, as far as I can gather. And yeah, this is the first single from that. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm curious to see what they've been up to lately. So without further ado, let's give this bad boy a listen, shall we? Rangers, go.
Defeated, I'll tear off the cast that anchors my soul to the pavement. All that's left is the journey. My footsteps echo songs that become empty in shadows of the
very interesting here. You know, it was kind of a rough one to put my finger on to, as far as how I felt about it. You know, and I was while I was listening, I was kind of really trying to collect my thoughts and really absorb all that I could to try to come to a determination of how I really feel about it. And ultimately, by the end of it, you know, it was all kind of clicking into place of how I felt. So here goes nothing. There's a lot of elements in this song that I really, really like really like. But then there are some things that I feel like make the song difficult to listen to, or make it, you know, hold it back to a degree. So I guess I'll just start with those things. First and foremost, I feel like the song is a bit scattered. It starts finding more of a direction like towards the end. Once you kind of get to the like the bridge and the solos and stuff, and then the final choruses, everything was just working beautifully. But up until that point, it just the structure of the song, again, it just feels a little scattered. Like it's difficult to kind of really just fully engage with the song, because you feel like you're constantly being shifted around. Like it's a little bit too much like movement as far as like structure wise goes, to where I didn't quite know where I'm at in the song. I mean, there's a clear chorus, of course, but then also, though, I mean, you have like the verses, but there's a lot of different thing, like too many moving parts, I guess, again, structure wise, to where I felt like I was getting lost, and then I'd kind of get back on board, and then I feel like I'm just lost again. So I feel like that needs to be really ironed out, like as far as the structure. There's just too much movement in there. And if that got a little bit more streamlined, I really think it would make the song not only just more accessible in general, but just would also benefit the song overall. So there's that. And then there's also, I love her voice. First, I want to get that out of the way first, so there's no questions about that. I really, really love her voice. But she has such a light, kind of high sort of voice, which again, I love it. I really, really like her voice, and I'll get more into that later. But it just feels like the parts in this song where it's like real heavy. The guitars are really aggressive, and it's just, it feels like her voice and that kind of aggression in the music and the guitars just don't quite match up. It just doesn't quite match up. And so it feels like her voice gets a little lost in the shuffle even. And I was thinking to myself at first, like, oh, maybe if her vocals, like in the mix, are boosted a little bit more. But I was still like, even if like the vocals were boosted, audio wise, I still feel like the quality of her voice would just still get lost, amidst that heavy aggression, those really heavy guitars, the like breakdown sort of guitar sounds, and so I just feel like that just did a disservice to the overall song itself. And what I'll also say is those moments, those heavy aggression, like guitar breakdown riffs moments, that's also part of how I feel as far as the song feeling scattered, because you have a certain vibe going, and then all of a sudden you're thrown into this heaviness, and it gets a little more melodic, and then you're switched back around to like the heaviness, and then some like intricate stuff in heaviness. And it sounds a bit like proggy to a degree, just because of that kind of structure. But here it's like too far of extremes. It's not like within like a relatively contained amount, or a really relatively contained, just, I don't know, variances in the sound, and so like the whole song has like this certain, threshold on either side, and the song staying within that. It really feels like we're swinging like way out here and then swinging here, and then it just, I don't know, it just really adds to this just kind of scattered feel. Like I was lost in it. So those are the two things that I feel like kind of hold the song back, because when everything works well in this song, I mean, it works really, really well. For instance, like the chorus. I love the chorus. The chorus is glorious. I mean, everything just falls right into place, and everything just feels like this is how it's meant to be. I mean, you have her voice sounding awesome in the chorus. The guitars and everything take a more melodic approach as opposed to just real heavy kind of breakdown stuff. It takes a more melodic approach. Her voice really gets to shine and soar. You have like some keyboard going in there, adding some nice, almost like a fanciful sort of vibe to it. And then you have like symphonic elements like strings going, and it's just awesome. It's just melodic, wonderful, like just sound. I mean, that was like the dumbest sentence anyone has ever said in their life before. It just, but I think you all know what I mean. Goodness, maybe I should have said, but yeah, it just sounds so fun. It sounds so melodic. It sounds so clean. It sounds so fanciful. It almost like magical, almost, it takes on this wonderful quality, and everything just shines and sparkles there. And I was all on board. And then there towards the end, when it was kind of like the chorus and other little things there, but everything is staying much more melodic and really kind of soaring, and all of these things just work together. And like I said, it sparkles. It just is wonderful. So yeah, and that's like where I feel like the sweet spot is for this band. So if the whole song took on more of that approach, I feel like this song would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. This is one of those songs, like sometimes when I have like critiques about a song, even if those critiques were like ironed out or whatever, it still may not be like a phenomenal song. It might be better. I'm not saying it would be better, because I don't know. This is just a random dude sitting here in a chair. That can't play instruments or anything, trying to like critique people who are insanely talented. So, but if certain critiques were, ironed out and the song was made better into how in my mind I think it could be, sometimes that song still wouldn't be like phenomenal. But this song, I feel like it has the ingredients to be phenomenal. But it just, again, those two major things, I feel like really, really pulls it down a bit and takes the shine off. So yeah, and I mean the musicianship and everything was solid. I mean the guitar work was great, especially. I mean, again, I love when it gets much more melodic and rhythmic and whatnot. But even like the heavy parts, like the musicianship is good. It's really good. Like I love the solo. Like again, starting from the bridge on is where I feel like this song should have been the whole way through, because that's when it just takes off, and ultimately the song leaves me with a smile on my face, and so yeah. But anywho, yeah, the guitar work was really solid. The drum work too. It's funny, so many times I see that dude sitting there playing drums, and he's like so casual about it. Like in that one spot too, he's going like doing something really crazy, and he's just like chilling, as if he's like just sitting in a lazy boy watching TV or something. He's just, I was like, what the heck? This man is like, he can just sit motionless, and like his wrists and forearms are just going berserk. Like in the animes, like when the people do like those crazy punches, their body's like there and just go. anywho, I don't know, but yeah, so that was wild, and yeah, I mean, all the musicianship was really solid. Her voice, again, I really love her voice, and it really shines in those moments that I talked about, is where everything works together, and that right there, it to me is like the sweet spot from the bridge on, just taking that whole vibe and that whole style and approach and putting it throughout the whole rest of the song, instead of having these different shifts and these different vibes going on in there. Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I think this song could be. So yeah, that was pretty long-winded. I apologize for rambling on so very much, but I mean, that's a testament to how much I really, really loved those certain aspects of the song, is because there's so much to talk about. And yeah, and I always just want to be honest with you folks, and give my honest opinion about every aspect of a song. So, anywho, y'all didn't know, and the song's called The Journey, but y'all didn't know that the real journey began after the song, when I just started rambling on and on. So, anywho, that's that. I'm really excited, though, that this band is dropping an EP, and hopefully down the road we'll get a full-length album or something like that, because there's a lot of talent here, a lot of talent with these folks. So I'm excited for their future. Let me know in the comments down below what y'all thought of this song here. Are you excited for the debut EP? And yeah, I'm really, really curious to hear what y'all have to say about this song. And yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. Ranger out.